You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
And welcome to a crashing, swashbuckling, Matthew Modine going crazying episode of TADPOG podcast.
I predict this is going to be the most swashbuckling TADPOGs to date.
Yeah.
Like on the swashbuckling
even more
scale.
so than Hook.
Even way more than Hook.
Finally.
The swashbuckling scale, I'm giving it like a 7.
What everyone's been waiting for. The swashbuckling episode. Yes. I'm afraid our listenership's going to drop off after this. Because
Probably.
it's okay, finally, these 12 years of listening has paid off. They've done the
finally
most
got to
swashbuckling.
This is our $88 million loss episode of TADPOG.
Yeah.
So yeah, today we're talking about the movie and the game Cutthroat Island.
Cutthroat Island.
But
Yep.
before all that,
Jack the Ripper Island. Did he cut their throats? I don't know. Yeah, okay.
And everything else.
And everything. Yeah.
Because they thought he was a surgeon, the way he could take bodies apart and shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so. It's been a while since I've listened to that episode of the last podcast.
I just know about him through modern fiction where people time travel and stuff. And that feels like I watched those as a kid, which seems weird.
So, Dave, you had a busy week.
I did. I had a busy week. I went to Vegas for work. Didn't do anything fun because it was for work. But it wasn't horrible. I mean, I ate in and out, so that was fun.
Nice.
I did go there. That was nice. And then ordered room service one night because I was too tired to go out.
I love room service.
It does fucking rule.
It hits. Sometimes it just fucking hits.
Yeah. I got some Kung Pao chicken, and when you order room service, there's this like thing in notes where it's like, I don't know, you got any notes? And I was like, please make extra spicy, and he did, and it was really good. It was the spiciest Kung Pao chicken I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
do you mind if I ask what hotel you stayed at, or
I don't mind.
What hotel did you stay at?
Caesars.
Okay.
It's
a Harrah's brand casino.
Is it really? I
hotel.
didn't know
yes,
that.
it is.
I believe they have 9 properties.
I
do
actually
they not?
helped convert that casino into the system that they use today.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not that I was like an integral part. I was the guy setting up workstations. I was like doing a larger project, or participating in a larger project, but not like I didn't like architect the thing. Just I don't want to make it sound like I was more involved than I was, but yeah,
But you were involved.
Caesars is under the Harrah's brand of casino.
I didn't know that.
Hell, Kaisar.
Didn't do any gambling at all.
I wouldn't either.
I won my hand. I'll never do it again. I'm good.
I don't ever have the urge to do it in Vegas. I would like, I don't know. I don't have a problem with gambling. Like,
No.
And I do it at, the Derby. I'll bet a little bit on the app. And I don't know. There's just something about gambling in Vegas, especially at a big casino. There's something about gambling in a big casino that is not appealing to me at all.
I can relate to that. I understand that.
So I don't know. If it's smaller, it's different when there's not so many people, I guess.
And the casinos in Las Vegas, for those who aren't unaware, are enormous.
Yeah.
You can get
huge.
lost in them, and they don't put up clocks nor are there windows, so you have no idea where you are.
Yeah.
I actually got lost in the casino at the MGM Grand. Like, I could not find the exit, and I thought, gosh, that would be bad if there was a fire.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what they do if there's a
I don't know.
fire.
Probably everything shuts off.
Right.
And
I would hope so.
Alarms over the doors and, things. But
If you die in a fire in a casino,
You
they
die
get,
in
they
real
get all
life.
your wealth.
Sorry.
nope, that's good.
I had to.
It's funny
Either way.
and true.
Anytime I hear when you die in, I always think of you die in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long trip. was a long trip. There was a cadaver lab and then like a 2-day symposium. And man, on the way there, on the flight there, I was so bored, and it was one of those situations where it's like, I need to stay up. I don't need to sleep on the plane. I need to like try to keep a sleep schedule. So it's because it's already fucking crazy waking up at like 5 a.m. and then waking up at 3 a.m. to leave. So it's like, yeah. So on the way back, I was like, fuck it. I'm finally, for the first time in my life, going to spend $8 for internet on a plane. And I will always, from now going forward, pay $8. It was like the best fucking $8 I've spent in this year, maybe. Because it was like, okay, and we're flying, and I'm on my phone. Oh, cool, and we're landing. That's great. I've been on Discord and YouTube, and I made the time go by real fast.
That's like a 5 or 6 hour flight, isn't it?
Yeah, it was about 5-hour flight.
I mean, that's great. That's $8 well spent.
Yeah, it's like a $1.25 an hour or something like that.
That's nothing. You wouldn't want to pay that all day, every day. But.
Right? Yeah, but when you're trapped in the sky, that's nice.
When you're defying God, traveling in the metal tube.
There is a part of me that's like, these motherfuckers, like, this could be free. You know what I mean? It's like,
absolutely, it could.
It's the internet. I thought it was weird because I was listening to Spotify when on my $8 internet, and then a fucking Amber Alert came through and it scared the shit out of me because A, they always do, and B, I'm in an airplane.
You're already tense.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and just like that's the last place I expect to get an Amber Alert is in an airplane. And it's like shit's going down in El Paso.
Well, she's not up here.
Yeah. Look to my left, look to my right. Okay.
Do we need to text somebody and tell them that she's not up here?
Right. That's how I feel anyway during an Amber Alert. It's like when I get one, and I'm usually at my desk at work, and it's like, just kind of look around. Nope, don't see them here. No blue Chevy pickup or a 5-year-old child here.
little Janie Jones, last seen. Big silver 747.
Right, yeah, Boeing.
Bound for Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
I better look real careful.
Did I take a little girl?
Oh, fuck.
My bag has been swapped.
Someone could have put a little girl in my bag. I don't know. I stopped looking at her for a second, went to the bathroom.
No, I checked my little girl at baggage. Not on the plane.
See something, say something.
No one saw me get her. The Amber Alert was not for her.
Man, they do like all of this talk reminds me of like the fucking human trafficking posters at the airport where it's like, do they really bring them through here? Like that seems crazy to me. That human traffickers are like, all right, we're flying Southwest. Everybody get your peanuts. And like, I mean, that's wild. When I think of human trafficking, my brain's like, all right, white panel vans,
semi-truck,
right? Yeah. I don't like that, but you're right.
With a hidden panel,
like a cattle car or some shit.
They busted one at my work.
What?
It was like a
trafficker?
Yeah. It was like a scene out of Grey's Anatomy. Like, brought this woman in to get checked out because she was sick.
The patient?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the patient, like, they thought something was really weird. So whenever like they made up some tests, took her out, questioned her, yes, she was being trafficked, and they made up some stuff to get him away, and like he was arrested, pulled his warrants, and he had a bunch of weapons on him. Like all the doctors were playing interference, and the nurses, and like at one point like my staff was up there like distracting him with food. Like it was a whole big thing, and they caught him, busted him, saved her. He went to jail, whole 9 yards.
Damn,
that's fucked up, man.
Never heard about that.
I worked with a young lady who was attempted to be trafficked when she was like on a mission trip to South Africa.
Oh man!
And someone just was like took advantage of her and her friend in the sense where they're like, "Oh yeah, we're supposed to pick you up," and they were just like, "Okay."
Oh no!
And then just got in, and then they happened to hide a phone. And that's how they got rescued.
Fuck.
Yup.
Shit.
Yup.
That's terrifying.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God.
Yes, it is.
I'm glad they're okay. God damn. That is
You choose the
fucked
bear.
up.
Bear doesn't try to traffic you, doesn't pull up in a van and say, roll your ride.
Ronson. A little side.
So yeah, Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby. That's what I do. Like you do with the wake up in real life or die in real life. Every time someone
baby.
says Vegas, I go, Vegas, baby.
Yep. I watched that movie so many times with Brandon because it's like when we lived together in the first apartment I ever had, we had like 4 DVDs and Swingers was one of them.
That's so money.
Yep. You don't even know
You
it.
don't even know it.
The Net
Oh, yeah.
was another one.
Mozart's Ghost.
Mozart's Ghost. Chris Rock. I can't remember the name of the stand-up special.
I promise I won't give you COVID.
No, that
Bigger,
was
bigger,
later.
and
Bigger and blacker.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we had another one. I think it was like Billy Madison or no, it was Dirty Work. It's Dirty Work.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Me
How
too.
is Artie Lang the only one alive of that production?
I know. That's wild. But Chevy Chase is still alive. He's in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Emilio Estevez is still alive.
How about you, Ian?
Nothing big. A little Overwatch news I've mentioned in the Discord. If for anyone interested, this new season of Overwatch has started. It's got a very Ultraman, Power Rangers feel to it. All the skins are very retro Japanese action TV show kind of thing, and like the mythical skin for this season is Ash, who is almost a dead ringer for Rita Repulsa from the Power Rangers. So that's appealing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was originally kind of meh about it, but there's been a lot of good content. Some of the big streamers, content creators for Overwatch got a chance to pick and buff out heroes for a special arcade mode on the game. And so, in the interest of balance, of like providing ideas to Blizzard for possible balance changes and new ideas for the characters, so that's been a lot of fun. And we found out also that about mid-season, there's going to be a Transformers crossover event. So there's going to be some Transformers skins and things of that nature. It's to promote the new Transformers movie that's coming out. So, but I'm really hoping that the Transformers skins they do craft for the characters that they choose to do are the like classic, the retro Transformers, and not like the new Michael Bay-esque, kind of weird looking ones.
Like Starscream also has like a tape in his chest.
Oh, yes. I think Soundwave, is that who you're talking about?
Soundwave.
Yeah, he's got the little. One of the cassettes was a bird, and the other was a cat, like a panther or something. But anyway, I'm hoping they do some retro skins for this, so it'll be a neat event. And then also, as of the airing of this episode yesterday, the charity event for the Pink Mercy skin and the Rose Gold Mercy skin has gone live in Overwatch. If you play Overwatch, if you have it, if you played it a long time ago and don't play it anymore, even, this is a really good charity event for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Even though I was a little salty about them re-releasing this exclusive skin that came out in 2018, I'm okay with it. I'm glad people are going to get to enjoy it, but more importantly, I'm glad that there's a worthy charity associated with this. So get in and buy that skin if you want to make a good. Last time they did this, 2018, they raised $12.7 million, which stands to this day as the largest single donation to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. They're hoping to shatter that record. I'm going to buy the one I don't have, the new one.
The rose gold
version, because I want to own that skin, but I also, again, more importantly, want to donate to a worthy cause. And my mom died from breast cancer. Lots of women suffer from this and die from it every year, men and women.
Yeah.
And
Archer had it.
Yeah. And so anything that you can do about that. If you don't want to do it, just send $10 to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Sure, we can provide a link to do that. But anyway, I finished the first Dresden Files book.
Yeah.
Stormfront. I enjoyed it a great deal. It's dated as fuck, but it was written a long time ago, so I get it.
How long ago was it?
It's like 2001, or it's old.
Are there like pop culture like at the time?
Not a lot of pop culture, but just you can tell that like the level of tech that we're comfortable with today, that we're familiar with today, isn't there.
Right. Okay.
Her cellular telephone. And again, granted, the main character, Harry Dresden,
he tries to offset it a little bit.
He sort of rejects technology because technology is allergic to him.
Yep. Anything, it's always technology within a certain amount of years when a wizard is born. So how old Harry is, anything after like World War II era stuff fucks up around it.
You're a wizard, Harry.
He is a wizard. And,
although Harry and Carl, I feel like are pretty similar characters.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if like Carl was partially inspired by Harry Dresden.
Okay. Yeah, I
Those
could
are
see
really
that. I could see that in a couple of ways. Maybe not from the personality, like their outward personality, but the type of person they are.
They thumb their nose at all authority, both of them, like to an extreme.
But have a good heart and
Yep.
are definitely driven to do the right thing and to help other people.
Yeah, very, very inventive. Very, yeah.
And I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through the second book, Full Moon, which features werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really enjoying that. So thanks for the recommend. I'll just keep updating everyone on my Dresden Files progress. In the interim between Stormfront and Full Moon, I read another book called Project Hail Mary, or either I think it's maybe a Hail Mary Project. I can't remember the order of the words, but it's Hail Mary Project. It's written by Andy Weir, the guy that wrote The Martian.
Okay.
And big recommend on that one. It's about 2021 this was written. I didn't know anything about it. Highly recommend it. It's about they discover that there's this organism that is basically feeding off of the Earth's sun, and they have to figure out how to stop it. And they send a crew. They find in their research, the people of Earth find that there is one star. All the stars in the system, all the stars in this vicinity, if you will, are affected by this, except for one. And so they put together this massive project called the Hail Mary to send a crew to that star to try to find out what is different about it and if there's anything they could do to stop it.
I don't know why I am getting Sphere vibes from this description, but I don't know why, but that's what I'm thinking of.
It could probably be considered similar to that. This one is in no way like a psychological horror or a drama or anything. It's more, but I got to warn anyone that's interested, if you've not read The Martian, Andy Weir is an extremely technical writer. He is smart and he does his fucking research, and the stuff he talks about is very complicated in nature, very scientific, it can almost get to the point of being boring at parts.
Well, I remember Matt Pat tried to break down that movie to see how accurate it was.
The Martian?
Yeah. And he could find like no fault, like stuff that he thought, and then once he dug in, it was like, oh no, he's right.
I read the book after I had
Mars
seen
is a planet.
Mars is red.
It's red.
Fuck.
Yeah. There's no robot on it.
There's a face on it? I thought it was a big dude?
Yeah. Wait, wrong Mars movie. I watched The Martian and then read the book, and yeah, it's spot on. I mean, it follows the movie. The movie follows the book well. It just eliminates a lot of stuff, but he makes it approachable and interesting. It's got a couple of really great twists, and it's very tense and very enjoyable. So, anyone interested in that kind of writing, feel free to let me know if you've had a chance to read the Hail Mary project.
Would you say check it out?
I would say check it out.
It sounds interesting. I was really interested until you gave the warning about the super technical part.
It's not. It doesn't like push you away. It doesn't. It's like being in like in some parts. It's like being in kind of an advanced science class, but not in a way that makes it seem like class. Sometimes I think saying the word boring was unfair. I think it can be a bit overwhelming, but nothing, having been to space camp and having been fascinated with that kind of shit, a lot of it made sense to me, but it could make sense to anyone. It doesn't like isolate a particular type of listener or make someone feel like, well, this is just a bunch of techno babble. It's listening to a gifted lecturer.
It's like Tom Clancy kind of style.
Make it easy. Yeah, it makes it easy to understand, but you still, in some places, might have trouble kind of wrapping your mind around how the fuck does somebody know this? That's where I tend to go.
Okay. It seems like something that I would probably do better, like reading like a physical book, because I'm concerned that I would like zone out. And like when someone's like reading this to me, I feel like my brain would start to wander.
It doesn't happen for long enough periods of time to make you completely lose like focus.
Okay.
It gets back to the story quickly. Okay. If he goes off on a little bit of a science tangent.
I mean, the premise sounds really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And there's a bunch of stuff I'm not mentioning. And it's a quick read. I mean, honestly, I listened to it in 4 or 5 days. Of course, I was listening to it pretty much nonstop for that time, but it's really well done, and they do a little bit of sound effect in it that's necessary to convey some of the dialogue, is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it, and it has a really effective... He's just a great storyteller. The Martian, if you haven't seen it, is a 5-star movie for Wiz and Sage. Says check it out. I hope they make this one into a movie, although I don't know how they would, but we'll see. I mean, lots of crazy things can be done. The last thing I'm going to mention before we move on to Tyler is I watched a movie since the last time we spoke. The movie is called What You Wish For. I believe this one is on Netflix. I'm not sure. Just look it up. You'll find out what streaming service it's on. So the story is basically that a guy that's on the run from a gambling debt, he goes to visit a friend whose job is to be a personal chef for a specific event. For this company hired his friend to cook and cater and take care of this very exclusive dinner party that and that's his job. He does this for this company. And this guy goes to visit his friend, the chef, and a couple of days after he gets there, he's in this modern, posh, extremely nice place, and a couple of days after he gets there, though, his friend the chef commits suicide inexplicably, and he decides, well, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take his identity, because he's also a chef. They went to culinary school together, and so he knew he could do the job.
I mean, we would do this a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and
it's something we all do.
The people that hired
him, right?
The people
someone takes up the mantle,
exactly.
Right?
And the people that hired him it's all done kind of anonymously, and so they didn't ever really know what this guy looked like. So he took over. He got into his bank account, got an ID made, and he took over and was going to cater the party. And then chaos ensues. And that's all I'm going to say about it. 3.5 stars. Wiz and Sage says, check it out. What You Wish For is the name of the movie. I think that's all I got this week.
I thought about you the other day because you had talked about the Mercy skin on last week's episode. I think we've been time traveling.
It was last week's episode.
And they're re-releasing a Final Fantasy mount, Final Fantasy 14 mount that was exclusive to. It was like a Butterfinger tie-in, so I ate 3 Butterfingers for this mount, and they're doing.
Did you eat them, or did you unwrap them and throw away the Butterfingers and just get them out?
I ate them. I was a different person then. I ate them.
I was kind of a monster back then.
Yeah, and they're doing the thing that companies are doing now, publishers are doing now, where it's like, watch this stream or watch this streamer for X amount of hours, and you get so if you watch certain streamers for like 10 hours total, you get the Butterfinger mount.
I've done several of those kinds of campaigns for Overwatch.
I haven't done any yet, but I mean, I don't have to do this because I have the mount already, but there's some other stuff involved too, where it's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll watch 6 hours.
They'll tier it up. They'll break it up into tiers. And, usually with Overwatch, it's like they'll have a lot of little like name cards or player icons or something. And then usually the big prize is a skin. And they've been doing these Overwatch Champions Series skins, which is like the esports.
Yeah.
But that are kind of... And you could get the home and away skins or whatever, but more often than not, they recycle some epic skin that I've had since 2017 or something. That I got it in a loot crate or whatever, a loot box, kind of deal. But yeah, it's becoming very common, and they don't have any ideas, and they don't want to put any effort into making new content for streamers to give out. So yeah, they'll grab some thing they used to be exclusive. I'm glad they're not doing that with the Mercy skin, because that would cheapen the charitable thing. Yeah. But yeah, sorry about you having to deal with those Butterfingers and then it just getting stolen right out.
I know if
cheap.
eating Butterfingers wasn't involved, I don't think I'd be as upset as I am. I think the mount is dumb.
You went through a lot. Yeah, you went through a lot though.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting that Mountain Dew mount. There's
a Mountain Dew mount.
It's called a Mountain Zoo.
Oh,
a zoo is a large bird in the Final Fantasy series. It's like a reoccurring monster, and this one is like a Baja Blast colored version of one of those. Yeah.
Shit like that, I will never ever use in game. Like
I'll definitely use it,
but even if it's like an ugly skin, or I just like to claim it if I don't have it, just to be like, I'm gonna, because I'll go out in my office and start Twitch on my Apple TV and go to the streamer that I follow, Emong, that does these all the time. And then I'll just go back into the house and I'll just let that fucker, because you don't have to check in with it. With the Apple TV, it just runs. I'll just go back in my house and then check in on my rewards every so often. Yep, got my 6-hour reward.
Yep. And I don't think... no one cares. You know what I mean? It's like you're still a butt in a seat. You're still a number.
It's a number.
Like, you are a viewer still. So that can be leveraged for advertising doll hairs.
Oh, yeah, it can.
I had to up my data cap at home for the girls doing that with their Minecraft streamers, if they had to go sit in their feeds all day when they were at school and shit. So.
Yeah. Yeah, data caps. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have that problem anymore.
Yeah.
What have you been up
to? Jack has an MRI on my birthday, so Melissa and I went out this last weekend. Went to Louisville, went back to where I proposed, ate some good food, just have time away together, and came back. So I had a good weekend.
That sounds great.
We went to this Cuban place.
Cuban Bee.
Yeah.
Was it called Cuban Bees?
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Severely disappointed by it.
Yes,
I love
Cuban
Cuban
Bee.
food, and this was not very good. We
Oh,
were
it wasn't?
very disappointed.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It was like thousands of reviews, like 4.8. It was like, all right, hell yeah, let's go.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, we were both severely disappointed.
Oh, that
Sounds
sucks,
more like
man.
Cuban D's.
Yeah.
To me.
No. Man, I went to a Cuban place that was like, I can't remember what city it was in, but it was one of those where it's like, oh, fuck it. There's a Cuban restaurant. Let's check it out.
Havana?
And it was,
All restaurants in Havana are Cuban.
Even the McDonald's. But it was one of those, it looked like a gas station or something that had been converted into a restaurant. And it was like, and no one was in there, and it's like, don't know about this, and it was really good.
Yeah.
That's usually
turned
the
out to be
case.
really great.
We have a couple of those Mexican places in Paducah that are kind of shady as fuck, but by all accounts have the best food. So who knew?
Because Melissa got some tacos and asked like to leave off like the onions and whatever sauce was on it. The guy didn't write anything down, so he brought back with everything on it. So I sent it back, and when they brought it back out, clearly they had just kind of scraped
Brushed
it
it
off.
Yeah,
it still had everything all over it,
Yeah,
so
sure.
she wasn't happy. Mine, I got what built up to be a great Cuban, blandest fucking sandwich I've ever had in my life.
really.
It was, very disappointed. The queso with plantains was good. Other than that, it was just like
You should have
man,
asked
this
for
is
a
what-
light bake, Tyler. Don't you know?
Yeah, that is on you.
It's your fault.
I'm
Oh, you
afraid.
wanted a
So we've
flavorful
learned.
sandwich. You gotta say that.
So this is the way we make it in Cuba. You wouldn't know that, but this is authentic. All that flavorful shit you've been having in your whole life up till now, that's American. We don't do that.
We
in
just
Cuba.
shred the pork and put nothing on it.
We're like
period.
the Starnes of Cuba, you see.
You've had the capitalist Cuban food in your life.
This is Castro's own Cuban food. And then we had like Korean corn dogs. That was really fucking good. I've never had one. I really wanted to have one of those. That was great. We were going to go to Jack Fry's, but we couldn't get in because I love Jack Fry's up there. So we went for Valentine's Day when we were up there. But no, it was good. Good. Had a good time. Just be away. It was the first time we've been away together in like a minute.
Yeah.
So, because she's been, it was like nursing school. So, like for us to go away, it's been at least 6 or 7 months before we had any like going out, just being her.
Back.
But yeah, that's about it.
Did you see any pirates there?
Unfortunately, not.
No?
But I got my pirate fill with Cutthroat Island. So you guys want to jump?
We'd like
so,
to welcome our guest host, Phil Hawkins, our pirate Phil.
fucking great, wouldn't it? That'd be really
Fog
fucking
pirate.
great.
Sandwich,
Lounge pirate.
Sandwich
Phil
Pope
Hawkins.
Phil would not have served you a bland Cuban.
No, he wouldn't have. He would have fresh baked that bread and all sorts of shit.
The bread wasn't even fresh baked.
I mean, it was okay. Like it looked like it was just. Like I was so disappointed. Like I don't know why it was so highly rated.
Was it expensive?
It was fairly expensive.
Everything is, but it sucks when it's like supposed to be premium and it's expensive and it sucks.
I paid $32 for an Italian panini at Caesar's because again, it was like, cool. It's been a long day, but I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not
Hey,
stepping
man.
outside. You're going crazy if you think I'm gonna go
That's
out
what it's
there.
there for. Occasionally, sometimes you just gotta splurge.
Yeah, and like breakfast and lunch is kind of like taken care of. So it's like by law of averages, it's like it's like 10. This is technically like a $10 sandwich.
Yeah, but
It was at Pronto. There's like a celebrity chef. I can't remember
I've
her
heard
name.
of that. I can't think of what it
Is it like the barefoot?
Barefoot Contessa?
Yeah, that lady. It was good.
Ina Garten.
It was good. It wasn't like $30 good, but
Right.
it was good.
well, if you don't mind, this week for Cutthroat Island, I have another list of TADPOG totals. that
yeah.
I prepared.
I
If
would
you'd
love-
like for me to go
Fuck
through
yeah.
that.
The movie and
now.
the game talk. Please proceed.
Go through it now, and that'll give us our,
I love
things,
it.
hopefully remind us of things. I just
Yeah.
watched Cutthroat Island yesterday.
I watched it a long time ago, and by that I mean like a week and a half ago because I
Me too.
confused our recording schedule. And when we recorded Wizard and Glass, coming to Patreon soon,
Very soon.
patreon.com/tadpog, I couldn't remember if we were doing that or Cutthroat Island, so I had watched Cutthroat Island before then.
Okay. Well, I hope that this list of TADPOG totals will help refresh your memory.
Thank you. I hope so too. Thank you.
So, this week's movie is Cutthroat Island, starring Gina Davis, Matthew Modine, Frank Langella, and here are the TADPOG totals from this 1995.
The kid from Malcolm in the Middle.
yes,
Yep.
Very young.
from this 1995
That's a Masterson.
flop.
Yeah.
Yes. Christopher?
The rapey one or the no?
Non-rapey one.
Okay.
Man, y'all are killing me.
Oh, sorry.
You'll see why in just a
Okay,
minute.
my bad.
1, Timu Pauly Shore, the guy at the beginning, the very beginning of the movie that Gina Davis was like sleeping with. Looked like
the one who was huffing the wheeze.
yeah, that guy looked like Pauly Shore.
Yeah,
One possibly Gina Davis upper butt crack. One horseback Gina Davis, paternal scalp removal. One scalp-based treasure map, one exceedingly clever pants-wearing monkey, one Mr. Trotter, one Ms. Ricketts, several sets of really nice pirate teeth, uncountable curly wigs, face powder, and lipstick, excessive slow-mo, one non-rapist Masterson brother, large spider-squishing, copious gem-dropping and treasure-sifting, one 8-barreled pistol.
Yeah.
That's right. A pistol with 8 barrels pointing in various directions.
Yeah.
Looked like a fan of pistol barrels. One copious pulley riding and rope swinging. One treasure crushed Matthew Modine. One point blank cannon blast. Scalp kata. Stagecoach kata. Anchor kata. Chain whip kata. Gunpowder kata. Cutlass kata. And flying barrel kata. That barrel actually hit Matthew Modine in the head.
Really?
It really hit him in the head. There's a lot to talk about. But before we talk about the movie, I would like to extend the following Wiz and Sage Acting Brilliant Thank You Awards to Gina Davis for such lines as, "Since you lie so easily and are so shallow, I shall lie you in a shallow grave." And I'm going to blow out his bottom and get what we came for. Frank Langella for such lines as, "Remember when you were a little girl, you always flinched when you saw Uncle Douglas, didn't you?" And Uncle Dog will have his day.
DAWG.
DAWG. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Bad dog. That was also a good Gina Davis line. And real quick.
Yeah.
Finally to Matthew Modine for saying, "So you're saying if I show you mine, you'll share yours with me? And that's the problem with being a thief. Nobody knows when you're telling the truth." And that is the TADPOG Totals list for Cutthroat Island 2024.
The delivery of bad dog. When Gina Davis says bad dog.
Ooh.
Okay, so the history of this movie. For me, started watching
It's like
it.
Street Fighter levels of
Yeah.
chaos.
Yeah,
and
but
shit.
for me, it was a Tuesday. Watched the movie with Nikki. I fell asleep. She watched it with me on my second go through. And I was like, "Fuck, man! I fell asleep like 30 minutes in. I got a long way to go." I'm watching the movie, and that scene where Gina Davis at the end shoots dog with the cannon and says "bad dog." Nikki was staring intently at my face. She wasn't watching. She wasn't watching the TV. She was staring intently at my face. I could see her out of the corner of the eye. Holy shit! I laughed so fucking hard. That is
It was
so bad.
So unfucking necessary. Let me preface what I have to say about Cutthroat Island, and then we're going to jump into all of this. I got a lot of facts about this movie too, as well. But I honestly did not hate this movie. I thought it was fine. It was a pirate movie, for fuck's sake, and it had some.
Fine is a good way to describe it.
It had bad dialogue. It was badly written, but I did like some of the stunts and the action.
It was still being written as it was being filmed.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, it was.
It does feel you saying that. Yeah,
constant
I could see it.
rewrites, constant changes.
This-
or it was more like the Mario Brothers movie, the original, of how everything just kept changing and being rewritten and being redone.
And for the record, I didn't hate it.
No, I'm giving it 3 stars.
And I just fell asleep because I was tired.
Wiz and Sage
I didn't
just
fall
check it
asleep because I was like, "Fuck, this is the most boring swashbuckling I've seen."
I went into it with low expectations and came out feeling like, okay, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was bad dialogue. It was not written well. Rennie Harlan is the director. Rennie Harlan was married to Gina Davis at the time this movie was filmed. He directed such movies as Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, if you might remember Cliffhanger from a previous episode of Tadpog.
It's great.
Deep Blue Sea, deepest, bluest. My hat is like a shark's fin. He directed the video for Deep Blue Sea.
Man, I wish LL Cool J was in this movie.
He directed The Long Kiss Goodnight, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Dream Master, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, starring Andrew Dice Clay. And Strangers Chapter 1, which recently came out. I may have talked about it. It was a good movie. He's directing the next 2 chapters of the Strangers reboot. So, he's done that. According to Guinness, this movie, biggest financial loss ever in the history of movies.
No shit.
It cost $115 million to make and made $10 million.
That's the $88 million loss you were talking about earlier, Tyler?
Like I think comparable, like Jupiter Ascending and Pan had almost the same losses.
Yeah.
But yeah, it bankrupted the production
Carolco Pictures was... It's funny you mentioned that, Tyler, because Carolco Pictures was already bankrupt 5 weeks before this movie started shooting.
I was about to say, is this a producer's like
they shot it anyway?
Grift, like, all right, we make the worst pirate movie.
Gina Davis and director Rennie Harlan begged to be released from their contract before this movie started. They begged to not be associated with this movie, and they
before it was released or before it was shot.
Before it was shot.
Oh, okay.
And because Carolco had filed for bankruptcy, they knew it was going to be a shitty movie.
Well, what the reason, like, they paid their stars way too fucking much.
They did. And originally, this goes to what you were saying, Tyler, this movie was written because around the original leading man of this movie was Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas did not like the fact that Gina Davis was getting as much screen time, if not more screen time, than him.
Well, she's the main character.
And so she is the main character, and Michael Douglas didn't care for that, so he quit. So Rennie Harlan had to invest $1 million of his own money to get the script rewritten to factor out the fact that Michael Douglas's character, who was going to be more prominent.
I see. Was he going to be Shaw or
he was going to be the Matthew
character?
Modine character?
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Shaw. But he had to spend his own money to rewrite it because now they didn't have their main leading man, and they had to get started. Several other actors auditioned were asked to be in the movie. I'm sorry, I do not have that list handy. They all turned it down.
Carrie Ewells had to be on that fucking list.
Yeah.
Had to be on that fucking list.
But ultimately, they settled on Matthew Modine, who, strangely enough, is a master fencer. So all that fencing he was doing in the movie was real. He knows how to fence.
They should have got him as a Jedi.
They should have. And then all of the actors did their own stunts. There's a scene where Gina Davis comes running and busts through a window, slides down a roof, flips over, and lands butt down in a stagecoach.
Dude, that explains why that was shot the way that it was. Because Nikki and I talked about that scene where it was like, dude, it seemed like it took... The movie doesn't seem dated to me because it's like a... it takes place in the 1600s. It's a period piece.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, quotation marks around that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's usually reserved for like dramas and stuff.
It takes place in the distant past.
You're right. Yeah. And so it doesn't feel dated, but that particular stunt did seem dated to me because it's not cut quickly.
Right.
It's like, it feels like because like the carriage is going underneath a balcony. She leaps off of the carriage onto the balcony and then goes through like a set of rooms and then winds back up, jumps off and lands back on the carriage.
Right.
I feel like in a movie today, that would be like a 3-second scene.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Very drawn out.
And it was drawn out.
So originally, she bust through the wall too soon. And she went under the stagecoach.
Holy shit.
And just barely missed being trampled to death.
Ooh.
And then they cut in her falling into the stagecoach properly. They cut that into the film because she wasn't willing to try that again. Because she literally almost died. There's scenes when they were hanging from ropes over caves, over cliffs in front of a cave where they're going to get the treasure. That's really them.
Wow.
Hanging on those fucking ropes with nothing but the rope holding them up.
They really hated this movie.
This was the director's wife. He was making her do all this shit. So anyway,
how was their relationship?
I don't think it lasted. I don't think it went the distance.
Look, I had to spend $1 million rewriting this. How much is my wife worth if she falls off this rope?
How much is our insurance good for?
And I like Gina Davis a lot.
Yeah.
I did not like her in this movie.
This was just not a role that she was
so
suited for.
stiff.
I feel like she's a good fit for like a pirate, but she looks so. You mentioned on your list the wonderful fucking pirate teeth. It's like, it's so jarring to see like dirtied up like Gina Davis, and then like she smiles, and it's like
everyone's teeth in this movie were fucking perfect. Everyone's teeth in this movie were exactly like.
There needs to be a scene where they're like exiting a dentist with like dentures, and they're like putting them in to like explain it. Or like the fucking monkey on the ship is like a master denture crafter.
A master dentite.
Yeah.
But
fucking
yeah.
King Charles.
This is not her best role.
Well, I think what she did, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, after this,
Long
because
Kiss Goodnight.
Long Kiss Goodnight, because she wanted to be an action star, and it just
Long Kiss Goodnight was good. Long Kiss Goodnight was a hell of a good movie. Really, that one is sort of my big Gina Davis movie that I really started to like her for more than just her sort of quiet roles like Beetlejuice, or she was in Fletch and Fletch Lives, the Chevy Chase movies, which are two of my favorite movies of all time. She's just been in a lot of stuff, and I've always very much liked her. But I thought she really...
A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own.
Hell yes.
What a good fucking movie. And she really rose to the occasion in Long Kiss Goodnight, where I think the fact that given the fact that she did not want to be in this fucking movie to begin with, the Cutthroat Island movie, I think she pulled it off pretty well considering the circumstances. You know,
I felt like she just had Botox in her face because
she
it
did
was
look a
just,
little weird.
She looked odd.
Yeah,
and I
looked a
not
little
saying
off.
that to be like a mean guy.
She just
but
looked different.
She looked, I couldn't put my finger on it, but a lot of it I think was there are a lot of scenes where she is fucking dirty. She's got like, and the makeup like. It's not good. I feel like the makeup's not good where it's like, yeah, you're dirty. And it's just like they do that like fucking TV style where it's like you get a little smudge of brown on your cheek. And it's like after seeing everything like they go through. And then it's one of these like they're not bloody at all. You know what I mean?
Not
it's not blood. It's like Mortal Kombat on the SNES.
Yeah.
It's like it's not blood, it's dirt. You got dirt all over.
It's like reddish brown mud. Yeah. One of the biggest budgetary problems they had was the fact that they had to truck in so much V8 juice for Gina Davis and Rennie Harlan were huge drinkers of V8. And they shot this movie in Greece and Thailand where it wasn't readily available. So they had it brought in. And that was literally one of the biggest items on the budget for this $115 million film.
Should not have had a V8.
Good one. Matthew Modine, I liked him in this. I thought
I did too. I thought he was fine. I mean,
he did a great job of kind of playing down a little bit.
I thought he was better than Gina Davis in this movie.
He was better than Gina Davis. I remember I sent you that Matthew Modine is Carrie Ewell's Ordered from Wish in this era because it was like I feel like he was sort of trying to play the Man in Black from The Princess Bride. He was kind of a more
had the
sinister
same haircut.
version.
Yeah.
Like facial hair, like dressed like him, like everything reminded me of like. Wish we could have got him for this, but he said he already played the best pirate, so he's out. But I've just what you said earlier, Dave. Like I have fallen asleep in one movie ever in my life. I struggle with insomnia, so like me falling asleep in a movie it's happened once. It wasn't this movie, oddly enough.
Really, it's super common for me. I get comfortable, and it's a dark room, and it's
same.
like, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, it was Sinister with Ethan Hawke.
Dude,
I thought that was the boringest goddamn movie I've ever seen.
up top. Man, that one got so hyped for me, and I love horror movies. I was so excited to watch that, and then it was like that.
It was really slow.
That must be the slowest fucking burn, because it's like I totally got super bored with that movie.
Yeah, it was slow. I liked the movie, but it took forever to get where it was going.
I feel like a lot of people love it.
Even
like,
when it got there, it was kind of like, I don't know, the payoff usually is bigger for such a slow burn. But
it got super hyped for me.
Oh, it's on many top 10 horrors of all time on TikTok. Like everyone's
and, like,
list
I've heard
has
people
it up
being
there.
like, "Oh man, it scared the shit out of me," and it's like if it gets really fucking scary, it is not within the first fucking 40 minutes of the film. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, I was not.
yeah,
And even when I got there, it was like, oh, this I've played D&D games and Call of Cthulhu games. I kind of like this. So I'm not. It's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
it had
Dark
a
Dawn,
lot
okay,
of
yeah.
good
Yeah, it comes
creepy
back to me.
visuals in it, but they weren't delivered in a timely enough fashion or whatever. So yeah, I agree with you there. But you didn't fall asleep during Cutthroat Island?
No, I watched it at work. While I
So
was
you
catching my
couldn't
paperwork,
fall
so I couldn't
asleep.
fall
You were
asleep.
forced to stay awake and watch this movie.
But it was, like I said, yeah. But I mean, it was fine. I feel like some of the visuals were good, costuming and shit like that. But acting, Ian Davis was stiff, and
That script.
It was
Yeah,
badly
That's
written.
they weren't giving anything good to work
Oh
with.
man, it is rough.
And the one-liner at the end just made me so mad because
God, I
it was
laughed
like
so fucking hard.
that
man.
one cost Cutthroat Island a half star from Wiz and Sage. Honestly, I was gonna say 3.5 stars, and then bad dog.
And her delivery, it's like it's a bad line. I don't know how you deliver that well, but she didn't manage to pull it
took
off.
too long.
You
to
pull a tit
deliver.
out. That's the only way you can do it.
Okay. Yeah, the cannon like pushes back.
But even their fight in like the ropes and stuff was just weird. Like it made it didn't look like a fight. It looked like a stage fight in a high school drama.
Yeah.
Of them just sort of stepping around ropes and
Yeah.
I'm gonna step here, hit this rope. Okay, all right, now I'm gonna slide over here. Okay, I'm gonna set my foot up here. You swing under it. Like it was. Everything about
Dude,
that was just so
Could've
bad.
And
sped it up
everything-
a little, and it would have seemed a little.
Yeah.
Everything in this movie had gunpowder in it.
Yeah.
Because it's like shit was
Especially-
exploding that was like, there are times I looked at Nikki and was like, there's no way a carriage explodes like that, right? I mean, like,
And it was like Universal Studios, like sort of like 5 explosions each 6 feet apart, like in a row,
right.
like that kind of weird, like
It's
hokey
crazy.
shit.
It was Tropic Thunder level.
Yeah,
explosion.
yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
titties. Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
right.
The fucking ship at the,
The
end.
ship.
That just
it's like I get it's got
fucking
some
look-
gunpowder in it, but
Lord.
but it's not made of gunpowder, right?
No, God, that thing straight vaporized. I mean, there was another big thing about that budget probably because they had to put some major pyrotechnics in to blow that ship the way they did.
And it's detrimental to the story because it's like they end up getting the treasure that was on that ship, and it's like that fucking treasure doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Like if that ship blew up
It's
the way it blew
slag.
up, it's like, yeah, you're not finding that treasure.
But even then, when they they have to get all 3 pieces of the map, which are a piece of wood, a scalp, and then like a regular piece of map, right?
yeah,
So it
like
was
a handkerchief or something.
Yeah.
I felt like they phoned that one in.
Yeah.
Because it's like they lead with the strongest. Because I was like, oh, fuck, man, there's a piece of the map of some dude's scalp. That is fucking
Her father's
wild.
scalp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one's like, like a on
I
a
need
board.
you to do
and it's
something.
like,
Cut off my scalp.
yeah.
She's like, for once, I want you to do something
Do what I tell
ask
you
you to
to
do. And she's like, I'm thinking, this? That's a big ask.
That
I'm
is a big
sorry,
ask.
Dad. I'm weird about cut, but she did it. Carried it around with her.
It seems like
It didn't rot. So she must know
true.
leathercraft
She
really
tanned
fucking
it.
well. Yeah.
She tanned it real good.
That's what happens when you get a big piece of skin. It just turns into leather. Just what it does. It doesn't rot.
I don't think she's believable. Is like because like the movie does stuff like that, where it's like think about the person who would scalp their dad to make a map, even if it's at their request. Versus,
Trace it onto a piece of paper.
yeah, something. And it's like, but she's a likable character. Like I feel like Johnny Depp does like pirate the best. It's like this movie. Obviously, it's unfortunate that it came out before Pirates.
This
of the
movie
Caribbean,
has been hailed as the thing that killed the pirate genre until Pirates of the Caribbean came out. Like this was the last
Like multiple
real
studios
pirate
canceled
movie
pirate movies
because
Wow.
of this. Yeah, this thing came in at such a huge flop.
and I had never heard of this movie.
And
Go
what the
ahead.
contest you sent, I read the contest was canceled. That was in the instruction booklet.
Yeah, the game has a contest in the instruction book. It was canceled.
It flopped so hard they
They
canceled
didn't have the budget for the prize.
Yeah, for the
or whatever.
prize. Yeah, they took such a big loss.
And then, yeah, and I think that said, I think the thing you sent about it from the manual was only a European thing.
Yeah, I
it
think
wasn't
so.
in the
It
United
wasn't US.
States.
Can you imagine being a child and going through the effort of like clipping that out and like you like the sweepstakes also involves you like essentially beating the game, I assume, because you have to like get all the maps in the game and then like I guess there's a riddle
And then you solve the riddle, and
and then you write it down
Ooh,
on
boy.
on the thing.
Maybe
you
it didn't
clip
matter
out.
because no one did it anyway.
Can you imagine going through all of that trouble and then like sending it in and then 5 weeks later you get a letter that says, sorry, this sweepstakes has been canceled. Oh my God.
that would suck.
I'd still be in therapy.
So
Well, whenever they finally they find the island no one has been to and for forever. No one knows where it is. They
And
have all
it's
the map
enormous.
pieces. Yeah. Well, their ship is destroyed when they get to it, and they're not worried about it. It's like, okay, we're at this island with all three pieces of the map.
Yeah.
Probably no one knows us. We're here. Our ship is gone. What? We're not worried about it. We're gonna find the treasure. And then two other ships happen to show up.
Yep.
They sort of figured it out behind them.
Yeah. Man, I was disappointed by the I don't know what you call them, the port guard or whatever, the British. I was when there's a point in the movie where it's like where they all come together, right? That's what you're talking about. The two ships show up. It's like what's her name? Morgan.
Yep.
Is
Yeah,
that
Morgan
Gina Davis's
Adams.
character? Morgan's
Captain Morgan.
uncle who wants the treasure. Yes, Captain Morgan. Wow.
did you not get that one?
No, I didn't. That's weird.
She kept putting her foot up on the barrel. It was-
So her uncle who wants the treasure, bad dog, he shows up, and then the port guard shows up as well. And I was like fucking excited because I was like, oh shit is about to go down. It's going to be this huge clusterfuck where everybody's fighting each other. And then Dog and the port guard ally, and it's like, oh well, fuck, that's not as interesting to
and
me.
they never
Yeah.
really even like I thought, oh well, he's gonna stab him in the back. He's gonna one of these two is gonna fuck the other
Right.
over, and they're gonna fucking
But it turns out he wants to retire with
he-
the treasure and
he's
become a
like,
governor.
Yeah, I just want to be what that guy is. I want to be a fucking governor in the Bahamas.
Which I get, I guess, but like also as much treasure as there is there,
Which is a fucking lot.
it's a lot of treasure.
of
It's a
treasure.
lot of treasure. And that but his decision to be a governor makes way more sense than at the end of the movie where like Gina Davis is like, all right, we got all this treasure and we're all still going to be pirates, right? And they're all like, yeah.
Yes.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? No. How many times have we almost died? That dude almost got his head crushed by the fucking captain's wheel. Best part in the movie.
Yes. He had his arm caught in the.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We're gonna keep blowing each other at sea and having scurvy. Fuck yeah!
Yeah, forget that shit. I'm taking that money and doing anything else.
There was something somewhat practical about that response too. I thought about being a farmer.
right.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
I think that's what would really happen. Like, nah,
I'm
give me my
good.
share. I'm fucking done.
Yeah, I'm
this is
good.
more money than I'll ever need.
I guess they just love the life, man.
Yeah,
They got
Pirate's
that.
life for
They
me.
got that dog in them.
Bad dog.
Dog was played by Frank Langella, who said that this and one other role were his favorites to play, even though the movies both sucked.
I don't know what he's in.
He was, he always said he wanted to play a pirate, so this gave him a chance to be a pirate, although a bad pirate, and not to mention he was wearing boots with spurs.
Yeah,
which
I thought
pirates
was
don't
weird.
really need because they don't ride horses really.
Gina Davis rides a horse in the ocean in the beginning of the movie,
Right.
Which is like the only, because when I noticed he was wearing spurs, I looked at Nikki and I was like, do you think that's why Gina Davis was riding a horse in the beginning of this movie to like justify this dude wearing spurs? It was so weird. It had a
just didn't
place.
track.
Seahorses. That makes
But
sense.
also spurs mean mean.
Right.
So
Yeah.
also
How
though,
can we confer that he's mean? We'll spell dog with an AW.
Black
dresses in
boots.
black. And he wears spurs.
and spurs. Also
Go team.
his Frank Langella was quoted as saying his favorite role that he's ever played, Skeletor in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe alongside Dolph Lundgren. In the late 80s. He
All
played
right.
Skeletor. Said it was his most fun he ever had. But that movie sucks, and he acknowledges that too.
Well,
I haven't seen it.
What Matthew Modine also had like
It's not good.
mental problems after this movie. It was so hated. Like
I could
He had a
see
mental
that
breakdown.
fucking with you.
Yeah.
I could see being a little sad about my career maybe
he
being
was
over.
going
I
through
don't know.
papers and reviews. Like, is there anyone saying anything? Nope.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
There's
So we all worked hard on it. We get the problems, but it was just, and yeah, he had like a mental breakdown.
you gotta
two
stay out
two
of the
really
comments,
good
bro.
two really good Matthew Modine movies you should watch in lieu of Cutthroat Island. Pacific Heights, starring him, Melanie Griffith, and Michael Keaton, about a psycho who moves into a couple's rental apartment and won't move out. And the second movie is called Memphis Belle. It's a World War II movie about the crew of the Memphis Belle bomber. They get trapped. The gunner's trapped in the bubble under the plane, and they get fucked up. They're trying to make the fucking flight back to get back to the States, and it's a really good movie. So you can, if you've watched Cutthroat Island, and you need a little palate cleanser, but you still want to watch something Matthew Modine, those two movies will do the trick for you. I promise.
Okay.
Pacific Heights and Memphis Belle, Belle.
Were these prior to or after?
I want to say they were around the same time. I think Pacific Heights might have been very early 90s, very late 80s, maybe 91. Actually, probably more like 90, 91. I can't remember when Memphis Belle came out, but it was right around that time.
Around the same time.
He had Matthew Modine was in quite a few movies around that time, around the time of this, 1995, thereabouts, in that area. He was cast a lot.
I don't really know him.
Yeah.
So like I've heard the name, and I saw him in this movie and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's Matthew Modine."
He has a weird delivery of his, but when he's in the right role, it's good. You know what I mean? I don't know if this was the right role for him.
Okay.
But I
didn't
thought
think
he
was
played
bad in it.
I thought he played well.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that it got such bad reviews, but they were not undeserved.
Yeah.
I could see why this movie flopped. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
It's like a B movie.
Yeah.
It definitely shouldn't have cost $100 million or
Way
whatever. You know what I
over
mean?
budget
Like,
B
yeah,
movie, yeah.
not with the script.
But you know what else they made?
A video game.
Cliffhanger.
A video game called Cliffhanger.
They did make that. It's
But they also made a
there
video
are some
game.
similarities between
Yeah.
the Cutthroat Island video game and
There
Cliffhanger.
definitely
video
are.
game.
Did I like the video game more than the movie?
I did.
Yeah, me too. I was,
By a wide margin?
yeah, I
Really?
was very pleasantly surprised.
I was pleasantly surprised by the game too, but don't think it's a great video game.
I think it's too hard.
I think it's also...
I've really struggled with it.
I think it's very shallow of a game. Because I got real excited at first when I was like, oh, this is a beat 'em up. Fuck yes, let's do it. And then you fight 4 guys and there's a boss. And you don't move on the stage very much at all. And it's like, okay, well, that was, I mean, not much. And then you're on like...
Oh, the minecart level was horseshit.
This turbo tunnel thing.
Yeah. It's the turbo tunnel gives you more reaction speed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. But I mean, so I was pleasantly surprised, but I don't think, in my opinion, this is not a great video game. It was just one of those where it's like, oh, this is a movie tie-in. This is going into it. This is a movie tie-in. This is going to be bullshit. And then playing it and being like, oh, it's not bullshit. It's just, I don't know. It's medium for me.
Would either of you like to guess how I felt about this game?
Yeah, I think you hated it.
I fucking hated it.
Oh, really?
I was surprised that Tyler liked it.
Yeah.
But I knew you were going to fucking hate this. You don't like beat 'em ups, first of all.
Not at all. And I thought that the controls were terrible. I did think it had some neat features, like you could pick between swordplay and brawling as your style of fighting.
I wish you could switch on the fly
That would have
instead
been
of
nice.
choosing in the options.
Yeah.
Like that would make the game more flexible.
And ironically, I only made it to the minecart part. I could barely make it through the first level. I thought it was too hard.
Oh,
But
it
the
is
final
too
boss
hard. I'm
in the
with you on
first
that.
level is really fast to get to.
And then his axe turns into a gun.
his axe is a gun.
And I was like, oh, sweet, I'm dead.
So you block,
wasn't
block,
expecting that.
and maybe if you're lucky, you can get down and hit him with the sword.
Yeah.
It's
I
very,
cheesed him in
very,
the
very
corner pretty
difficult.
good.
Yeah, I did too. I think that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
I had trouble cornering him. He kept
Yeah.
shooting me.
Well,
I
he'll go
wasn't
off
blocking
screen.
effectively. Yeah.
You do get hit off screen a lot.
Yeah.
Like the difficulty is, I'm with you 100% on that.
And
Like it was too hard.
It's too hard, but it's also like cheap. I mean, I feel like there are times when you get hit off screen, it's like, well, this is fucking cheap.
Yeah.
When you're on the carriage stage and you have to memorize where the rocks are because it's not like Battletoads where it's like flashing where like there's gonna be a rock.
Nope.
It's just, oh, there's a rock and I'm dead. Dead. Not hurt a little bit. I'm dead.
And then when you
run
do
into
get
a
hurt,
rock, you run into a heavy guy on the minecart.
a heavy guy.
Your
I've
life
been
is
hitting
gone.
guys the whole fucking time.
Why would you think you couldn't hit one?
Exactly. And
Because
I did.
he's
and then I
bigger.
died. And I'm like, God damn it.
because he's bigger, Tyler. That's why.
The ride levels are bullshit. I like the other stuff. I thought it looked very nice.
I thought it looked nice too, and I felt like it looked the way that it did because there's 2-player simultaneous co-op, which is nice. One player plays as Morgan, other plays as Shaw. It's pick up and play, so it's like Double Dragon style. So you don't both players don't have to be present at the beginning of the game.
And you get upgraded moves as you go.
get upgraded moves. That's also nice. But I think the game looks very simple graphically.
It's very NES.
It does look very NES. A lot of the background aren't animated.
They don't move, and they're just like, yeah.
And I think that was done so that they could have 2-player co-op. I think that was a design decision. So
And I
can
endorse that 100%.
So I can respect
it's better
that.
to have 2-player.
I would have rather had worse
and
backgrounds
lesser
than Final
graphics,
Fight
yeah.
be two players.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree, but I also think Final Fight wouldn't have made the splash that it made as early as it was released. That I feel like that game was. I feel like the decision to only have 1 player in Final Fight for the SNES was to show people how good an SNES game can look, how close to an arcade the SNES can be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they put graphics definitely before gameplay on that. But they did they made the opposite decision in 1995 with Cutthroat Island. They made it look more simple, I feel like, so that they could do 2-player co-op. And even though it looks simple, I think they made some really good design decisions
Characters
to make it
like
look
the
good.
characters. I thought the Morgan looked like,
I agree.
a very reasonable facsimile of the character from the movie.
It
and the
has the
movement
look of a
was there.
cinematic platformer
It
almost.
does.
It doesn't play
Yeah.
like one,
Yep.
but it
Otherwise, I
looks,
would have hated it.
right, right. But it has that look to it where it's like I know we're talking about NES, but there are parts of the game where I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. It might be because I played a lot of Pitfall, but I
Yeah.
got fucking Atari vibes.
It definitely had Atari
where it's
vibes.
like
Uh-huh.
it felt like maybe this is a game that Atari could have developed for the Super Nintendo. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I liked how it looked. I didn't like how it sounded. I thought the music was lacking, and the sound effects. There's like 4 sound effects.
Yeah, sound effects I didn't like. Music didn't have enough tracks. Well, what was there I did like.
It was
I
good.
thought
It was decent music. You're not wrong.
atmospheric, but you're right. There's not enough of it.
There's not a
You
lot.
hit the same 4 or 5 things over and over again.
Yeah.
I do have an email
Okay, for
from
Brad.
to kind of cover
Yeah.
some stuff if you're interested.
Let's hear it.
Brad writes, is Brad from Arizona. Brad writes, "Hi all, you were correct. The review for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was the Super NES game.
Good.
Not sure if I've sent a review from Game Players magazine before, but here's the review for Cutthroat Island. You know it's a late SNES game when there's a ESRB rating.
Yeah,
This game
it's
was
weird
rated
to
teen.
see a ESRB
It is-
rating on
it
a
is weird.
box art for SNES.
I think this review is a little hard on the game, but by early 1996, people were pretty sick of 16-bit game bullshit. As you can see, this will be 3 separate images, so it's easier to read. You can't see this, listener. It's Cutthroat Island. Genre, action, players 1 or 2, size 16 megabit, save feature, none, no save feature. Acclaim published it, developed by Software Creations, available now for the low price of $59.99. Getting headbutted by Gina Davis sounded like fun until Patrick Regatta was forced to endure the pain over and over again. He's the writer of this article.
Oh, okay.
Software companies are developing more and more impressive games every day, so it's hard to believe that anyone would be willing to take the risk of releasing any less than stellar product. Unfortunately, there are always exceptions to the rule, like Cutthroat Island. This game is far below even the most average 16-bit game on just about every level. From the formulaic slashing and punching of the fighting sequences to the dreaded minecart level, apparently just thrown in to take up cartridge memory. It did seem kind of shoveled in there. There was no minecart in the movie.
Right.
Maybe the
Otherwise,
stagecoach
it
level
posed it okay.
would have
There's
made
a
more
stagecoach.
sense.
Stagecoach, yeah, that made more sense.
This game is substandard. Perhaps the most distressing element of this title is the overall lackluster presentation. For the most part, every aspect of the game genuinely gives the impression of being an assembly line project, which is simply unacceptable. With graphics reminiscent of the 8-bit days, mindless enemies, and bland environments, Cutthroat Island's just plain terrible. I certainly hope the movie is better. Ew. Hadn't seen the movie, have you? 4 for graphics, 6 for music and sound, 0 for innovation, 3 for gameplay. I disagree with the 0 for innovation.
I do too.
I will strongly disagree with that, and I'll explain why.
3 for replay value for an overall total of 31%. Game Players magazine rates it 31%, which puts it in the crap zone.
In the crap zone.
It says crap right next to 31%.
I just like, it reminds me of like SeaWorld or something. Careful, you're in the first 3 rows. You're in the crap zone.
In addition to this, Brad writes, this game is so late in the SNES lifespan that the same publisher was publishing monthly paper magazine about the internet. Remember when a way to know about websites was to find URLs in magazines?
Yes.
I do. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Or on TV. The
I
first
miss
website
it.
I went to was dietcoke.com. I didn't know what else to go to.
And I miss it. The issue in the picture, December 1995, has a listing of every Friends reference on the net. In 1995, I could see how you could make a quick list.
Yeah.
Now,
Not
don't
so
even
much.
bother. It says the net. This is the name of the magazine is The Net. Much like-
Mozart's Ghost.
there we go. There you go. Online services ate my brain. God damn. I remember this magazine. I would see this magazine on the stand at the grocery or whatever.
Uh-huh.
The net can turn your dream into reality. In addition to providing more qualified site reviews than any other magazine, the net serves as a resource of practical information intended to teach our readers how to become contributing members of the internet community, thereby eliminating the need for magazines. To get the most out of your time online, we also publish Net Power, with every
net power.
every issue. This 600 plus megabyte CD-ROM provides browsers, utilities, shareware, and hundreds of hot links to the hottest and hardest to access sites around. One click, and you're there.
Evangeline Lilly on a phone.
Yeah.
If you guys have seen that sex line, where she did that one sex line commercial.
How does one get qualified to review websites? Oh, Brad says, how does one qualify to get to review websites? Asking for a friend. Later, Brad from Arizona. Thank you, Brad.
See you, Brad. Thank you
for the email. So, Game
love how we
Players
started.
magazine did not like Cutthroat Island. It gave it a big fat goose egg for innovation. Tyler?
See, here's I think why I feel more positive about the game, because when it comes to the beat 'em up genre, I'm okay with it. I feel like they're very tropey, so this game isn't tropey for the genre. That's why I think I like it a lot more, because all the things that I would bitch about in another beat 'em up, they don't do here.
Okay.
I like the weapon variety. I like that, you can get the dagger, a gun, a club, a bomb. Like, there's plenty of Is there enough of it? No. But the variety is there.
Well, and the fact that, for me, again, didn't like the game, not a fan of beat 'em ups. This is just not my genre. I can't get into them. I just cannot. Unless it's one of those like the Simpsons or the Turtles 4-player game.
Yeah, like a licensed tie-in.
One of those I can get into. Those games are fun for me, but these side-scrolling beat 'em ups just don't do it for me. That being said, I did think it was the one thing I thought was neat was that you could change the style of play.
I think that's neat.
Yeah, style of play, the moves that you get.
The moves that you get is the upgradable moves.
That they upgrade as you go. I think that's cool too. I think that
because that's lacking in so many games that we've played where the last
you
one,
have one that takes a quarter of your life.
Yeah. One of the games we recently played, it was I am having trouble remembering things now, but it was the what you had water, like a water gun. Didn't do anything.
Dennis the Menace.
Dennis the Menace. Thank you. Yeah, it's like there was no upgrading. There was no variety there.
Right.
It was just the same bullshit, boring. So this, in that way,
And
took those
you're
things
not
into
just going
consideration.
left to right, riding an elevator up and down while enemies flood in. There was different variety in the levels. There were bosses. The boss is too fucking hard. Absolutely.
And also, it's weird to me that like it goes from like belt scrolling. It's a weird transition because
When
you
you
go
get
from
to the
belt
boss-
scrolling when you're fighting the guys, and then it's just strict side scroll.
You can't go
like
up
you
and
can't
down.
move up and
Yeah.
down. You lose an axis, and it's like
that threw me for a sec.
it's weird. It's
jarring.
It's an odd decision. It goes from a beat 'em up game to a fighting game, and honestly, like it transitions to that pretty well.
Yeah, because if you're like too low on the screen, your sprite will walk up to the middle and get into position.
And it's like, okay, it was just an odd decision.
Right.
It almost felt to me like, was this a fighting game at some point? And then they just tacked on the beat 'em up aspect. Is that why you fight 4 guys?
And most beat 'em ups, you have a pretty good health bar. You have a regular Mook health bar.
Yeah, you can get hit like 5 times.
This game is it's way too fucking. If you had if it was more standardized in how tough you were,
Sure.
I'd like it a lot more. But
Yeah.
it's way too hard. I could not beat Chain Guy on
Yeah.
like the 3rd level. I did it over and over and over and could never hit him more than twice.
You can earn continues by like getting like through score, but I mean it's like I'm not gonna do that.
And you
know
can
what I
get,
mean? Like
if you beat the
it's tough. It's
bosses,
tough.
you get like a 1-up, so you can earn an extra life.
That is true. Yep.
But they're rarely like in the actual level itself. And there's a lot to dislike about this game, but I do not think it's fair to say it lacks innovation, because I think it picks up on a lot of things that so many of the games we play,
Yeah.
It incorporates
regardless of the genre,
feeling of
they
the
just
movie.
leave out.
I think the innovation is probably the game's strongest point.
I agree. I will absolutely agree with that.
Because it doesn't feel like a standard beat 'em up. I mean, if I were to compare it to any beat 'em up, it would be Double Dragon, and that's because of the variety of weapons, like you're talking about, Tyler. It's the size of the sprites, in proportion to the backgrounds. It's the 2-player co-op.
But if I loved beat 'em ups, I wouldn't like this.
You don't think so?
But I feel like since I'm ambivalent to beat 'em ups and I like how different this is, that's probably why I like it more. But if I was a beat 'em up purist, I would say this is like they're doing something different. It doesn't work. It sucks.
I mean, I love beat 'em ups. I wouldn't say I'm a purist. I don't hate this game. I just think it's pretty. I think it's a pretty middling game.
Yeah.
I think they made some. I think what is heartbreaking to me about Cutthroat Island, the video game, is that I feel like it could have been very good, but they made a few decisions that were not great, and because of that, a very good video game went to a middling video game.
And it's a shame
fair.
too, because the game had the game reached that very good level and done those extra little bits of thing to make it better, it could have picked up the slack that the movie dropped. I always love when we, in the very, very rare occasion that the video game is better than the movie.
Yeah.
I want that to be the case. Like,
Sure.
listen, this movie sucked, but the video game,
Right.
holy shit, it's actually really good. And they missed the, no pun intended, missed the boat on that one. You know.
Yeah.
There was no boat. Was there boat action in this game?
Yeah,
I didn't get
it's
it
later
anywhere.
in the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pirate movie.
I also didn't get to it. I saw that on
Pirate
I saw that
movie.
part on YouTube.
I watched some speed runs that were very impressive.
I wanted
I
to
believe
watch
it.
those today while I was at work, and I could
Everyone
not get
plays
away.
as
Could
Shaw,
not do
so
it.
I don't know if Shaw plays a little different than Morgan.
I tried both of them.
I didn't see a whole lot of difference.
I played mainly as Morgan, so it was one of those where it's
I
like
did
I'm going to
too.
play as Shaw for like a minute, you know.
I did the same thing, and I actually got farther with Shaw.
Yeah.
But I think it's because by that point I had already tried with Morgan 5 or 6 times
Yeah.
on the first 2 levels, and I was like, "Oh, fuck it, I'm done." But I'm at least going to play as Shaw once to see
Sure,
what happens.
that's kind of how I was. I didn't like Shaw's jump attack. I liked Morgan's better because, and by no means am I a stream or like a speed runner. I don't even think I take time to beat this game.
Right.
But Morgan, when Morgan's jump attack, she like kind of does a somersault in the air and puts her sword out. So I relied on that a lot. Shaw like
You
does
have
this
to.
thing where he like lunges forward and
I think
slashes.
that's why speedrunners probably do them, because of that lunge, because they did that to traverse.
Oh, they go
stages
faster.
quickly.
That
Yeah.
does make sense. But yeah, I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised when I turned the game on for a movie tie-in video game. I think this is, when you compare it to the other video games based on movies, I think this is one of the better ones.
Sure. Okay.
I just I just wish it could have been what it felt like they were
Sure.
trying to do.
Yeah.
It just has some pretty glaring flaws, in my opinion. I wish it was a little deeper, and I wish that they cut out the tunnel minecart
Oh, yeah,
shit.
that was the worst part of the game for me. Like, it was completely nonsensical, too hard. Make a
just-
mistake,
yeah.
you don't have many lives at the second level,
Yeah.
so you're just gonna.
You have 4 max, I think,
Yeah,
at
it's-
that point.
And you've
awful.
probably
And you
died
could
twice
easily-
just
Fighting the
getting
boss.
through the
Because
first
once you see the
boss.
rock, you don't have enough time to move. You have to already know
You
it's
have
there.
to know it's there, yeah.
And then why would you think you couldn't hit the big guy?
Right.
Unless you're going to lose life.
Because he's not that much bigger than the regular guys.
Well,
that you
yeah,
can-
it's also
Over.
it's moving fast enough to where it's not like you could really tell at a glance that it's different. You know, I mean, for me, it was like, what the fuck? You know, I just hit this guy. Oh, he's different than the other guys. I
like that there was a block in the combat.
Yeah,
I
block
thought
is
that was
always
awesome.
nice.
This isn't really the game's fault, but because I'm so used to modern games, it made me really wish that was like a true parry, where it's like when you block, if you block at the right frame, you get like some kind of buff, or you get to knock them back. Like,
Yeah.
that would have been so much more satisfying. But I was still like, I mean, it's 1995, so I
Right.
can't really fault it for that. But it's like one of those. It's
So
like
if they're
someone
trying to
remade
do
this-
that much variety in combat to do something,
yeah, it's like they get
engaging,
stunned when you
Yeah.
like block at the perfect moment. Oh my god, that would have because I already think the combat was honestly pretty good. I thought they did a good job with the combat, but that would have like been a nice little cherry on
Yeah.
top.
Did you guys have any achievements?
Unfortunately, this week I do not have achievements. I was unable to. I didn't have time, despite the fact that it was like a week and a half. I never prepared, so I'm unprepared with achievements. It's up to Dave and Tyler this week.
I have a couple. My first achievement is Carl's Jugaboom. In order to unlock Carl's Jugaboom, you kill any enemy with a bomb.
Nice.
My next achievement, and maybe the last, because the others are pretty half-baked, but this achievement is called Life is Unfair. In order to unlock Life is Unfair, get excited when you see there are multiple playable characters, and then immediately become disappointed when you realize that Bowen, the Masterson boy, is not one of those playable characters.
Good one.
I have a title, Cutthroat Island. And I don't know how you unlock that. I just wanted to say it like
You
that.
get to the treasure island.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make it that far. Game. I've got two. The first one being, I've got a gun. And then get a gun and kill somebody with it.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
And the other one being great guy and knife guy. B. Shaw, get a knife, kill a guy. So great guy and knife guy being people from Mario RPG.
Nice. How much do you think this game is if you were to buy it used? How much do you think you would pay for it?
It's hard to say how many were produced.
That's kind of where I'm going with this, because I have a feeling this one wasn't terribly common.
I don't remember ever seeing it. Like I probably would have been
most people
attracted
didn't
to
even
the
know
cover
about the
of
movie.
game.
Yeah. No, I didn't know about the movie. I certainly did not know about the video game until, YouTube was a thing.
I'm going to say this one's probably, but I think it's generally not received well. I don't think it's a good game for, I don't think it's going to be seen as a good game.
We'll get to that, Flopsy.
Yeah,
we'll see what
will.
Flopsy says.
But I'm going to say, I'm going to go a little high and say $27.
$27?
Yeah.
What do you think,
I'm
Tyler?
gonna go higher and say $35.
$35. Actual retail value of Cutthroat Island, loose on average for the Super Nintendo, according to PriceCharting.com at the time of this recording, is $11.40. Is it worth it?
Damn.
I think maybe
Yeah.
it would be for a collector.
It's worth
and
it for
if
me.
you liked it.
I would pay 11. I'd pay $12 for this.
Okay.
I might even go on eBay and buy. This was not a terrible game. Didn't love it, but if I could get it for $12 on eBay, yeah, I would seek it out and buy
Cool.
it.
Yeah. All right.
What do you think Flopsy has to say about Cutthroat Island?
Well, despite its somewhat relatively low retail price, I'm going to say, and given that review we got from Game Players magazine, I don't know that Flopsy's necessarily going to be tuned into the nuances that you guys were. I'm going to say 2.5 stars uncommon.
2.5 uncommon?
Yeah.
What do you think, Tyler?
I'm gonna bet they liked it okay. I'm gonna say 3 stars common.
I haven't seen it yet. I think you're right. I think that this game is not, knowing how lenient Flopsy is, and considering that I've even heard Cutthroat Island for the SNES said in the same breath as Hidden Gem, which I don't agree with. But still, the fact that it's getting some reputation. I haven't seen his video on it, but I've heard other people, I've read people say a Hidden Gem, and I kind of get it. I do kind of get it. It's just
Not quite at gem level.
There are a few
Right.
things missing. Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to go back in the tumbler and get smoothed out. You know what I
Polish
mean?
it up,
Get it
yep.
polished up. Then I could really. This honestly could have been a really fantastic game. I do believe that. But yeah, I think 3 stars common. I would go with. I would share that with you.
Crisp.
According to Flopsy, a.k.a. the ultimate Nintendo guide to the SNES library, 1991 through 1998, 3 years after Cutthroat Island for the SNES came out, by Pat Contry, courtesy of Monster Mold Mike and a shadowy, mysterious benefactor, Cutthroat Island. Page 68.
So close.
Woo, boy. 1.5 stars.
Damn, they were hard on
Availability uncommon.
Okay, well, I was off by 1 star.
You got the uncommon.
got
though.
uncommon.
Hey, they mentioned Game Players magazine.
Yeah.
in the summary. Yeah. In the reflections from KN, again, this is from the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library. KN says, although the cart label displays Acclaim Entertainment, this was published by LJN, but sold by Umbrella Company Acclaim. It was also released on Game Boy, Game Gear, and Genesis, but I don't know why. This game is my only memory of Cutthroat Island. A short review for it appeared in Game Players magazine, and they joked about how everyone was avoiding the movie and should avoid the game too.
Huh.
Yep.
That's weird that we got the crossover.
I know.
There.
That might have been the only publication
It could have been
that printed
talked
anything
about
about
it at
Cutthroat
all.
Island for the SNES.
They were the TADPOG of video game review magazines.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a beard, it sums up how you feel about it. What kind of beard and why?
It would be the beard of one, I believe, Brandon's uncle, former owner of
Bluebeard.
Apex Internet Services.
Ah, yes.
What's his name? Jeff. His bearded, shocked face whenever, I believe, the year they sold the company, they had the big fireworks show at his house.
It was actually at my brother-in-law's house.
At your brother-in-law's house. And accidentally set them all off at once instead of the big spectacular show. So seeing all that money go up all at once.
They, do you know what all the guys from Apex, they did? This was Michael, Jeff, everyone like really super inflated egos about this fucking fireworks thing.
Oh, Brandon made a big deal. That's
They
why he
had
brought me to it.
They had a name. They had a name for their little crew called Gorillas in the Mist.
Yes. Yes.
With a Z? Like,
Nope. They were so arrogant about that. They were I have never seen. It was the most, you know how you got that one friend who like struts around his grill when he has a cookout, like I'm a man and I'm cooking things. This was like that. This was the epitome of just misplaced male pride and hubris. And when that thing went off,
it was a cool 10-second show.
it was because I was trying to help. They weren't letting me help. They weren't letting me be a part of it at all.
Couldn't play in the reindeer games.
And I was fine
Gorilla
with
games,
that.
sorry.
But I kind of just had a little bit of an evil chuckle when that whole thing.
You did.
We're talking.
You flipped a cigarette in there.
That show cost them $15,000.
Oh my god.
And that, Tyler, is probably the best beard you have ever, the most accurate beard you have ever given. Most accurate beard you have ever given.
Jeez.
Because I was there. I seen it. And you are right, because they were like so confident. They had it just figured the fuck out. They knew it was going to go off without a hitch. And oh boy, it did not.
We left shortly after that because Brandon was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Thank you for that memory and for giving me the chance to expound on that a little bit. Continue, please.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses, what kind of glasses and why?
We'll give it the shiny, when an anime villain has that tint, that white tint to their glasses.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ian's villainous anime glasses as he watches the fireworks go up.
I did not sabotage that show, I swear.
Believe
They
you.
wouldn't let me close
But
enough
as
to
the
it.
other
Listen, all y'all,
production companies
It was not sabotage.
watch this company go up in smoke over Cutthroat Island.
That's funny.
What game are we going to talk about next, boys?
Well, we got a fast turnaround, so do we want to do something a little different?
Yeah, let's do a little different. Do something different. You want to go ahead and roll for what we're going to do in case
So,
it's a super
we're-
long
yes, you are-
RPG movie tie-in?
This week, or next week, I should say, we're going to be back as always, but once again,
we're time traveling.
It's we're doing an all calls / draft / something.
We'll figure it
out. Not game related, but we're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna keep you entertained.
4th of July extravaganza,
as promised. Yes, 4th of July.
Come on down. We'll treat you right.
Come on down. This is actually.
Is this our 4th of July extravaganza?
You're right.
Okay.
You're right. God damn, I can't keep it straight either.
It's time travel, man. Scrambles your fucking brain.
But yes, we'll have a 4th of July extravaganza, and then after that, we'll be back with our normal schedule. And that game
for as long as we possibly can.
As long as we can, we're getting there. We're getting there. At least for the movie tie-in games.
Yep.
I'm gonna miss doing this.
Me too. It's gonna be weird going back to just a game.
I don't know what we're gonna have.
They're gonna be 30-minute episodes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot shorter.
We're gonna start doing them on YouTube Shorts.
We've gotten good at getting quick about the game part and the movie part for a nice couple hour long show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I rolled a 30.
Okay.
Which a 30 is last action hero.
All right.
So following the rule we've been following, we'll keep rolling in that list so hit when we haven't. So we've done Lawnmower Man, Lead the Weapon, Lion King, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So that brings us to The Mask.
The Mask. Somebody stop me. I bet this is a good one.
Oh, absolutely. You know it.
I have seen The Mask 100 times.
First movie I ever saw in the theater.
Does it have something to do with a child?
My son...
Yeah. No, second movie. Second movie I ever saw in the theater.
Love this movie, but not only that, Tanya and I liked it a lot. We love Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I read the novel
back then.
after it. I loved it so much.
Was it better than Gremlins 2, the novel?
Nothing's better than Gremlins 2, the novel.
That is the right answer. Yeah, we watched this movie a lot. We had it on VHS, and we wore it the fuck out. So... This will be a fun
all
one.
Warped and shit. I love it. I used to love it when a VHS would get there. Showed how much you loved it.
Yeah, I did. Our copy of Lion King was like that.
I want to get Brandon on for it.
Okay.
if he will.
Do it.
All right, yeah.
Just because of that one time, that one story about going over to his house.
You just want to embarrass him for 5 minutes and then he can sit there?
Yeah. Dude, I absolutely do.
We can call him for that. We don't have to get him in here.
No, he's got to come in. Sorry.
He's
rules
only
are
in
rules.
Memphis, I think. No one really ever knows where Brandon is.
Even Brandon doesn't know where
Would you
Brandon is.
Would you drive to Memphis to be on a podcast where you know your friend's going to make fun of you for doing a thing in school?
Well, we're not going to let him know.
He's not a dumb guy.
He's done a lot of ketamine. He might not remember right away.
This will be a fun one. I'm excited. This will be good. Good shit. The Mask, starring Jim Carrey.
Fresh off In Living Color, I believe. Maybe even still on it.
I think his Ace Ventura movies is what was like his
transition.
So his first actual movie was
Earth Girls Are Easy, right? Or was it the Cruise movie?
It was Rubber Face.
Rubber Face.
And then he was in some vampire movie that I can't remember the name of. Then he hit it big with Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. And then I think after the success of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, he was like a fucking household name, and they cast him in The Mask. We'd have to look to... We'll get to all that. We'll get to that next time.
It's good content.
So thanks for listening, everybody. Find the show on iTunes, not SoundCloud, not Stitcher, Snitcher.
We are on Spitzer.
Fuck Spitzer. Fuck it. Fuck it in its ass.
Most importantly, got that Patreon.
We do have a Patreon. If you'd like to donate money to the show, which a lot of people do, and we're all very grateful for that, you can do that at patreon.com/TADPOG. For as little as $1 a month, you can have access to our bonus content. We are a week away from starting to release our Dark Tower series out onto quote-unquote the net. So you can have access to that and all the actual plays that Tyler has constructed, which are extremely good and entertaining. And there might be an episode in there where I talk about sex stuff for money. But anyway, we do have a list of executive producers. These are the fine folks who donate $20 or more per month. And I'll read that list right now, starting with Cubicle Monkey, Plinko Nick Price, Usurper Grimm, Gamebug Prime, Nathan Eaton, Pinball Airplane, Archmage, Chris Edler. Sorry you couldn't be on this episode. Derek Post Sandwich, Enthusiast Jeff Miners. Congratulations on your marriage. Drink Smith Joey Webster, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins.
Took it away.
Louisville Correspondent Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Karen Dahl, and Canadian Turbo Nerd Thomas. Also, thanks to Dane.
It's so weird not to hear congratulations on your marriage.
I know.
Darren's like, that is weird.
She's the record holder for it being the longest of congratulations.
I like this competition.
But right now, it's going to be Enthusiast Jeff Miners. And Dane, thank you for putting the show up on YouTube.
Yar.
Brad, thanks for the article from Game Players Magazine, which mysteriously crossed over into our Flopsy. You got your Game Players article in my Flopsy. You got your Flopsy in my Game Players article.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. The two tastes in one. We're very grateful for all your donations. Thank you. Hell yeah. That's all I got.
Our theme song is Moves by Sleeper Drive. Leave that track found on the show notes at TADPOG.com. How you guys gonna close it out?
That's Gina Davis at the very end of Cutthroat Island.
Okay.
So until next time.
Tropical Capricorn. The pause. I'm glad we all paused because that was the problem. The biggest problem. Biggest problem with that was the pause. He had plenty of time. She's like, but what about this?
I don't know, man. Step to the side.
Bad dog. Bad dog. TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler. New episodes publish Wednesdays each week and are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. If we like it, we'll play it on the show and respond. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. If you absolutely must send us a food item, please use caution and good judgment when doing so. Tasty snacks that look or smell funky or are past their expiration date by the time we get to them will be thrown away. Bonus content is available at patreon.com/tadpog with a minimum donation of $1 per month. You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/tadpog Discord. Registration is free and we'd love to see you there. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode. Now, where did I put that stinger? Oh, here it is.
And now for a dramatic reading. Ice cold bitches melt down when in my clutch, and what they titties sucked ice cream. Yeah, in your guts. French vanilla, butter pecan, chocolate deluxe, even caramel sundaes and getting touched. Scooped in the ice cream truck, who tears it up? Ice cold bitches melt down when in the clutch. They want they titties sucked ice cream. Black chocolate wonder girl, shake ground like thunder. Politic till your deficit step. Give me your number. Your sexy, persuasive tatas and thighs. Catch my eyes like highs. I want your bodily surprise. Double dime sometime. Ice cream, you got me falling out like a cripple. I love you like I love my dick size. Oh, baby, I miss you. Your sweet, tender touches take off the Dutchess. Orgasm in my mind state. Masturbate in your clutches. I want you for self, like wealth. So play me closely. Bitch is paranoid. For the sting, who want most of me? Only a hard dozen wanna be calling me cousin. Thirsty for my catalog? Baby, shopping spree you're lovin'. Call me. If you want to get dug like the pockets, I jism like giant, break wombs out of the sockets. Song's called Ice Cream. By Akon, I believe.
The earbuds?
That hand sanitizer smells funny.
Yep. It's our genitizer.